Okay. So I want to thank you all for joining X Excuses Podcast. Here where we X side excuses and we find solutions and not dilution.
Mhm.
My name is JB and this is my co-host Stacy. The topic of the day: have we as black people reached the point where we must release the pain of our ancestors' struggles in order to truly grow and thrive? And how I want to start this conversation out was going to the foundation, basically how all this started. And I want to go back to the African soul Africans and this narrative that we've painted like through movies back in the day, that the Europeans came and they took us and they captured us. But we never thought, now, could they go to a foreign country that they don't know nothing about the land, know nothing about where to first start off at, and somehow be able to capture us and store us somewhere so they can capture enough before they actually can ship off. So that seemed to be a lot for someone to be able to do who don't know where they're going. It just never really made much sense to me. So I started digging into it, and I found out that actually Europeans did not march into Africa to kidnap millions. African captured and sold other Africans. And captives were acquired through wars, raids on villages, kidnappings, punishments for crimes, and they sold them for guns and ammunition and for alcohol, clothes, iron bars, and manufactured goods. And we wasn't just stolen, we were sold. Europeans built the machine, but Africans helped load it. So what you think about that?
So, I did do some reading about that, and when I read about our history, I'm gonna be. I think that is important to have knowledge on it, but there's nothing that we can do to go back and change what happened. There's nothing. So, I think that a lot of people sometimes can focus on so much that has happened, has, and get stuck on the idea of, we came from struggle, so that is who we are. And then
Mhm.
that is their narrative. That's what they have created in their life. And so for me, like, even with my kids, raising my children and teaching them about our history and teaching them about where we came from, I always wanted them to understand, that doesn't determine who you are. That doesn't say who you are today. So I tend to get the knowledge that I need and allow myself to grow from it. Like, I just can't dwell on it. So when with the topic, can we release the pain of our ancestors' struggles in order to truly grow and thrive? We got to stop sitting in what happened before us. That's not our time. We can grow. We just have to grow from that. We can't sit in it. That's just my viewpoint on that.
When I be watching CNN, and then it was this white guy and this black guy, which they was friends.
Yeah.
And so I forgot the topic, but he had told the black guy, you can't be low IQ on that and really think that that makes sense. So man, if the guy like, nah, you know what I'm saying? I don't think it's low IQ. I think they were having a debate.
Okay.
And so the next guest was another black guy. And he was like, well, before we go on with the conversation, I want to just say I find it very disrespectful for you to call a black man low. I said, oh man, here we go with this crap again. Or
Yeah.
even when we have black female mayors, great. I believe whoever's best for the job, it don't matter your gender, if you can do it and you can make whatever situation be the best, go for it. I don't care what gender you are. But if you're not doing a good job, you shouldn't be above criticism. You shouldn't be above being checked and said, hey, I think you should do this. I think you should do that. But anytime it's a black woman, oh, you trying to tell a black woman what to do. Man, you not doing people suffering. Accept the help, grow from it. But
Yeah.
since we black and we feel like what our ancestors went through, now we should have some type of special privileges. Like, hey, you can't chastise us, but these people didn't have nothing to do with what their ancestors did 500 years ago. We are trying to live in this country we call America all together, and let's work together so we can make the best out of it.
Right.
But if we keep holding on what our ancestors did 500 years ago. We can never grow, because we always gonna be holding this chip on our shoulder, like you owe me something. But the white people, like, I ain't had nothing to do with that. I didn't even know those people that did that to you.
Yeah.
But they always say, don't hold all blacks in the same umbrella. But we hold almost all whites in the same umbrella. And I noticed that.
Yeah. Now that leads me to a good question that I wanted to ask you. So what I'm hearing is, and I want to make sure that that's what I'm hearing. Do you feel like that as that Black people may tend to use what we have been through throughout history as a crutch, or maybe even as like a guide to um status in life or gaining status in life?
Yeah. I think we use that instead of actually putting in the work
Yeah,
and just seeing what needs to be done and actually putting it on our shoulders and say that I'm a pave a way. I shouldn't have to do this because you wouldn't have what you have right now in your position, white person, if my ancestors didn't pick cotton and do what they did. So I shouldn't have to work as hard because you got that off of the back of my people. So you owe me. So it's all about, I feel that I shouldn't have to work as hard because my people already did the work.
yeah,
So give me what you didn't get them.
yeah,
And if I don't make it, it's because you don't want me to make it. And it's because it's racism. But why is it that Asians, Mexicans, even Nigerians, Africans, most of them income is higher than the people we call oppressor,
yeah.
the white people?
So I agree with you 1001%. I just take race completely out of it. And the only reason why I say that is because now you see a lot of race, with the new generation that's growing up where they feel more entitled, or they feel that they don't have to put in so much work because we did. So now it's like, well, because y'all work so hard, y'all parents work so hard, their parents work so hard. Now it's easy for us. And I've noticed that
Hmm.
it's not just in the Black community no more that's thinking like that. So that's my main reason for taking race out of it. I think that there are a lot of Black people that sit on those thoughts or have that mentality that think that I can't get ahead because somebody holding me back. And I think they put white people as the oppressors, and they put a different race as what's holding them back and what's stepping them down, when the truth of the reality is it's just them standing in their own way. So
Hmm.
I think that the language change that needs to happen is stop giving the credit to, oh, well, I'm doing bad in life because of any reason besides yourself. I think that people in general need to learn how to hold themselves accountable for things that's going on in their life and things that's happening in their life, versus trying to find an outlet to ease the pain that you're actually just sitting on your behind doing nothing. And so that's why I take race out of it, because I notice as generation goes on, or at least as the older that I get, it's all race that our children are growing up, where I'm questioning, who's my future doctor, who's my future lawyers, because we don't have a lot of them stepping up anymore, because now the world has gotten to making money in such easy ways. They don't have to work hard to make money anymore. You can make money just by sitting right here doing exactly what you and I are doing. So I think the conversation needs to change about what's oppressing people and what's actually happening to people, and it's them standing in their way.
It just, when I look at it, the only ones I see that doing the most complaining a lot of times be black people. I do admit, just about everything we touch, we do it. We take it to another level. Look when we play basketball. Look when we play football. Look when we touch soccer. Look when we, now we really ain't got into soccer yet. Let me stop it. You know what I'm saying? Baseball
Yeah,
or golf and even violence, especially amongst each other.
yeah,
And here's something I want to bring to people's attention too. Back in early 1900s, or even started in the 18s, all the way to maybe 1970, and they still exist, the KKK. But now, and they terrorized us But now who's terrorizing us? And they both wear a costume. YNs now, they got the same mask on that the KKK have on. And they do the same thing. Kill, destroy. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm like, man, when we gonna get a break? And then the black homicide and roughly 8,000 homicide victims per year are black every year. And then too, the FBI statistic says about 90 to 93% of black victims are killed by black perpetrators. For comparison, 81% of white victims are killed by whites, and 88 of Hispanics victims are killed by Hispanics. And this is a proximity pattern though.
Yeah.
But every race kills who they live around. But the scale is highest among blacks though.
Yeah.
And tell me why.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Well,
saying? Like, and too, when they say poverty, but
yeah.
we was in more poverty back in the 50s, 40s, and 30s.
Yeah.
But we was in survival mode then because we had white people that was after us and lynch. So we had to unite. So now when we got free, we basically give each other the middle finger. Now I don't need you no more. The man and woman, I don't need you no more. I don't need family no more. Basically almost going back to how we did each other in Africa.
Yeah.
So I don't want to hear nothing else about no racism, man, because don't nobody hate the black person worse than the black person.
Now that's real. That's very now that's very true. And it's actually heartbreaking to even say, that even I, when I moved or when my kids were younger and I'm
Mm-hmm.
looking for a school for them to go to, I am looking in a more nicer community, a nicer area, not something that's more so urban. And it's just because I grew up in those communities and I knew that they didn't have much to offer me. And it is a sad case that as a community, we can't come together and build up on each other versus tearing each other down. Somebody get a little bit more than you and you want to take from them, or even make them, or even feel like they're trying to outlive you or outdo you. Whereas, we should use each other as examples for growth, or, like, let me coach you, let me give you your roses, let me show you that I'm proud of you so that way I can see what you're doing and walk down the same path. Instead, we just look at each other and we just want to take, or we envy each other and feel like the next person is trying to do better than the next. And that's a sad case. That it's really sad to know that, you know, um, my race look at each other and that's what they see. And instead of looking at the next person and seeing that, we have so much to offer each other, we can grow and learn from one another. It's sad. It's just now that we having this conversation, and now that we're bringing to the table to have to talk about it, what can we offer them? Like, what can we offer our community? Because it's nice to talk about it, but it has to be a result. We got to be able to offer people something.
The only thing that we can do is first push the truth. And like the name of this podcast, we got to X out all excuses and look at what's the root problem. But we always seem to want to look, well, it's because of the police. Now, let me tell you about the police. The police killing of blacks from 2013 to 2023. Approximately 3,800 black people was killed by the police. So that's like 340 a year. But you remember how many did I say blacks killed a year?
Eight.
8,000.
Yeah.
But who you see all the Al Sharptons and the Jesse Jacksons and all the black leaks talking about the police. Hey man, they ain't the problem. Yeah. Because we keep expecting other people to respect us more than we respect ourselves. So when they come in and they police us and they see how we treat each other, what type of respect do you expect them to have for you? That's just like, I'm using this for an example. That's just like sometimes women say, just because I dress like the prostitutes, don't think I'm one of them. If I'm a racist and my best friends are Klans members, but hey, that don't make me racist. Hold on, buddy. That's not how people gonna perceive you. But if we see each other every time you turn around, we fighting or killing, fighting, and arguing. Somebody made a good point. It's this guy I've been listening to for years. His name is Tommy Sotomayor, right? So he was talking about how the black rappers always killing each other. And he said, you ain't never seen NSYNC and the Backstreet Boys have no shootout
Yeah.
killing each other. But black but black entertainers always fighting. Always got some beef going. You feel what I'm saying?
No, I do, because you know that the sad thing is the toxicity sells.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how you get, your audience. That's how you get your people. That's how you will them in. And
Mm-hmm.
people don't want to hear the truth and they don't want to listen to the truth.
Mm-hmm.
That's boring and I don't want to talk about it. But that's because people haven't learned that, you get that entertainment, you get that 30-minute healing. Whereas if you get the truth and you get some good wisdom and some good knowledge, now you have a lifetime of wealth and a lifetime of open doors. But we tend to focus on that right now healing or that right now fix. So I can't feel this all the way through
Mm-hmm.
because it hurts too long or it takes too long for the good feeling to come around. And people just tend to stray away from that. And for me, I think that you right, like you said, all we can do is put the truth out here and is allow people to see themselves for where they are. Somebody might listen to us and look themselves in the mirror like, I've been beating myself up and um I've been ignoring that voice that's been telling me to get my ass up and do something different or stop making an excuse for everything that I've done or everything that's happening to me. So that's my only hope and my main goal into being your co host. I can't sit here and waste my time on people who don't want to change for themselves. I can't talk to those people. We can't help those people. You got to want this. You got to
Mm-hmm.
want the longevity of this. Because
Mm-hmm.
it's sad to sit around and look at my community and see them not do nothing. See the same people every year, year after year, live the same lifestyle, do the same things, but want different results. I don't understand that thinking. I just don't understand that thinking. And it's so
Yep.
sad because our community, I I even have conversations with my boys, and I tell them all the time. Sometimes you may meet an officer
Mm-hmm.
who they might be wrong in everything that they said, but you can't get out of character because they wrong. And you don't know what brought them to this point. Every black person that they ever came across probably gave them nothing but they behind the kids. And hey, come another one looking the same way, dressing the same way, and he don't think he finna get anything different. You got to be the one person to stand out and show him something different. That way he can learn. He can take a lesson from the way he treated you and go to the next person and get that person grace only because he just don't know. I might look like this, look like everything else that you have seen, but I'm that one individual that's gonna stand out. And I think that we have lost the voice of people that just want to stand above the rest. We all race for the trend. We all race to be like everybody else, do the same thing, dress the same way, get the same Botox, put the fake ass on. That stresses me out. Why? Because they don't know what it feels like to walk around with a real one all the time that's thick and you got that lower pain in your back. So, it's little things that people tend to just be on. And it's like, you don't even know it. You're just going off of the look of it, but you don't know the deep root of it. So, yeah, no, I agree with you. I agree with you.
And then when the police do come to us, you know what I mean, to some blacks, some people, because I've seen white people do it too. I've seen mess. But still, we look at it as far as why do I have to act a certain way around him? Well, you should want to represent yourself every day in a respectful manner.
In a respectful manner.
As a man, when you approach a woman, you want to be on your best behavior. When you approach your family members, when you approach your friends. But these the people here that serve and protect. They actually do. Because think about this. What if we didn't have police officers, period? And everybody had to fend for themselves.
Yeah, we living in a crazy place.
So I greatly appreciate them because back in my younger days, every time I did something wrong, Hey, they always come pull me over. Hey, I got a warrant. But I knew I was wrong.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But when I got my life right and started doing, man, I don't have no problems out of them. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Thank you, sir. Hey, no problem. Hey, you have a good day. Even when they do have a bad day or they ears being funky, because I've had some black and white that be funky, nasty. All right, so you have a good one, man. All right. Now, back in my younger day, I give them peace of mind and they'll they'll take me out of the car and handcuff me and tell me this and that. But you know what I'm saying? But I was fed that mess too. You know what I mean? You gonna respect me. But in order to get respect, you have to give it. Cause I've had sometime that start off nasty with me. Cause I guess they assume I'm gonna be nasty too. But
Yeah.
once they see that, oh no, I'm showing respect or whatever, they tone down. They're like, all right, you see what I'm saying? Cause the thing about it, what we have to understand, good always gonna supersede evil.
Come on now.
Don't even matter if evil try to infiltrate to make you that way. But once you stand on that, good always gonna supersede evil, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
And that's
Yeah.
the thing that people don't really take value in. Like, you stand up so much larger and you look so much more powerful when you can stand evil in its face and not budge, not
Mm-hmm.
let it break you.
Absolutely.
Like, the confidence that I get in those moments is more powerful than me putting on an outfit and walking in a room thinking I'm the best person in there. Like, no, my confidence is built on so much more. And it's so much power in just standing your ground and not allowing somebody to shake you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, too, to go back to what I was saying before about slavery, segregation, and racism is real history. But the history should be a foundation, not a prison. You get what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Our ancestors endured suffering so we could live differently.
Yeah.
Our ancestors fought, bled, marched, and died so the chains would fall off of our minds,
Yeah.
not just our bodies. We honor them by standing on their shoulders, not standing in their trauma.
Yeah.
You, you know what I mean?
No.
I think if you can't hear that
Yeah.
and really have a change of mind, you may just be one of those ones and really understand the big picture. And they put systems in play because when you really think about it, if all black people stop committing crimes, you know how much money is made off of prisons? Billions. Off of prosecutors, public defenders, lawyers, fines, probation, parole. Man, that's $1 trillion business.
Yeah.
So if they ban violent rap music and they say, nah, we don't want you to promote that. We want you to only promote positivity. Man, like you said before, that kills a lot of revenue.
Hmm.
You see what I'm saying? Like I
Yeah.
heard this one rapper, he say, man, when you come and you speaking the truth, man, they ain't gonna put no money behind you, man.
Mm.
And you actually speaking and rapping about unity, man, get your lame butt out of here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But like this one rapper said, he came and they changed his whole image. And you're gonna look like this, you're gonna dress like this and this. And he said, and he did it because they gave him the money for it. And he was like, this what they want me to portray. Because it trickles down now to all these different organizations that
Right.
benefit of our ignorance. And,
Yeah.
and, and from our failures. You know what I'm
And
saying?
that goes back to exactly what I said. People follow that, and the person that's behind that don't even have that mentality. Don't live like that. They go to school. That's just like Megan the Stallion. She came out. All the girls following her. All the young girls now. Everybody want to shake their ass in the videos now. Everybody
Mm-hmm.
this, but they didn't know that that girl was in college. She was being by the time they found out about her being in college, she had already graduated.
Mm-hmm.
But getting educated, but they didn't promote that. They didn't talk about that. She already became big by promoting her body and shaking everything else, and all the girls followed that. Actually, the sad thing is once they started talking about her going to school I ain't see the spotlight on no more. Now they came out with somebody else. I think Gorilla Girl came out and she was big, started being in the spotlight more than her. I said,
Mm-hmm.
and nobody noticed how they trap in your mind. Like
Absolutely.
nobody can catch the little sly thing that's really happening here. they stopping you from being educated because now they got you. You got to find the best outfit to go out there so you can get out there and shake it so all the guys can look at you. But what's going on up here? What's happening up here? What you putting in here on a day to day basis? It's just so sad that people go based off of image instead of gaining their own wisdom and knowledge behind it. Like I'm so quick and fast to jump on, oh, the new trend and the new fashion, the new show. But when it comes to like a educational conversation like this, or let's talk about like what's really hurting our youth or what's really damaging our minds, they gonna change the channel and you ain't gonna get that many views or that many likes. It that's sad. That's sad to know that we live in a world like that.
Yeah. Because I hear people speak God's name a lot. And I sit back and I be like, do they really know, what God really is? And the true God that I see the majority of people really got to be speaking about is money. And I told somebody one time, I said, if I take your smartwatch and I turn it into a sin watch, and I say, if you can limit yourself to 3 sins, you can't commit more than 3 sins in this year, and this watch can monitor it. And if you do that, you would get $10 million. I guarantee you, a lot of people would not sin.
Yeah,
You won't have no problems. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
But I really believe we have really lost our way. And you wouldn't think black people would have lost their way. We got churches on every corner, but we got the worst neighborhoods, the worst mentalities. Like that saying Gandhi said, he said, I like your Christ, but I don't like your Christians because they're nothing like Christ.
Mhm.
And then we quit to bring up Martin Luther King. But Martin Luther King fought for what? Equality, discipline. But what was the main one? Unity. Unity. But every street that's Martin Luther King, man, you better run and clutch your purse
I mean, roll up the
and duck.
window and don't stop at no stoplights on that
Mm-mm.
block. Yeah,
Nah.
and it's so sad. Yeah, that's very sad.
And and then we'll talk about Malcolm X, but he preached what? Self-respect and community responsibility.
Yeah,
And I'd be like, sometimes I hate these guys had to die for us.
yeah,
Now, what they die for? Because like even I've heard this one person say, we was better under Jim Crow. Oh, what you mean we better? We was the man, but we was forced to be together. We was forced because that's the only way we could survive because we felt, what I'm saying, we was segregated. We was, what I'm saying, we had hatred towards us as far as from, what I mean, the whites, and we had this. So we made it the best by working together.
yeah,
But when we got free and what these guys died for, man, we lost our mind. We
yeah.
lost our minds, man. And then they died young, believing we could unite. The question is, what are we doing with the freedom they paid for with their blood?
The sad thing is, if Martin Luther King Jr. and Malcolm X was alive today, they'll be embarrassed because there's no unity. You know,
None.
you don't see a lot of us getting together and doing something where the police don't have to come and break it up or it don't have to get shut down early because it hasn't turned into chaos. Like I was telling my kids, I said, you know what's sad? Y'all will never know what a block party is. Like
Hmm.
I remember growing up and we had block parties and all the neighbors was come out and I stayed in black communities, but we all came out and we all spent time together. They don't do that no more. You can't. You have a block party, you hear about it on the news because it got shut down.
Yeah.
You hear about some kids having a sweet 16 party and somebody it was a shootout there because nobody's taking accountability of their children anymore. You're not
Mm-mm.
teaching them anything. It's cute now to have a kid online cussing and carrying on and saying grown people having grown conversations than to having kids just online doing something sweet or doing something that's for a child. I was watching a TikTok and it was this gentleman on there with his daughter and they sitting at the bus stop and she was saying her alphabets and every letter of the alphabet she had a Bible scripture to go with it. I thought that was the cutest thing ever.
Absolutely.
And I just like this is the things that need to be pushed out there and promoted more. These are
Hmm.
the things that we need to show more. But no, we dressing our kids up to look like little young adults, and that's getting seen first. That get the more sees than anything,
Mm.
and it's just so sad.
It is. It's very sad.
Yeah,
And I found in my notes too what I was talking about earlier about the trillions of dollars, you know what I mean, that they make off of
right.
us. It says every year America spends over $100 billion on policing, over 80 billion on jails and prisons, and close to 300 billion on the entire criminal justice system. That's almost $500 billion tied directly to crime and punishment. So ask yourself, is it really the system's best interest for us to heal? You want to know why they want us traumatized? Because trauma is profitable, because division is profitable, and because violence is profitable. You want to know why they want us hopeless? Because hopelessness is also profitable. And here's the crazy part. The same system that once made money off our actual slavery is now making money off our dysfunction. The plantation was profitable back then, and the prison pipeline is profitable now. The slave trade was profitable then, and crime-based policy is profitable now. Nothing changed but the outfit. As long as we stay broken, divided, angry, or repeating the same cycles, somebody else is getting paid. We are not in physical chains anymore. But as long as we don't unite, we are still in a system that profits from keeping us where we are. And then there you can say after that, man. And it's sad to see that we ain't the first ones to talk this. And it seemed like it go in one ear and not the other. It was somebody that said we was just inherently violent. You know what I mean? But then when you go back to what we did each other in Africa and how we was conquering each other and fighting and killing and we was taking the ones that were smaller tribes and selling them off. Man, we've been doing each other bad, man, for seem like forever.
Centuries. Yeah,
You know what I mean? For real. So sometimes you think, can we be saved? Can we really change our way of thinking, or is it just who we are?
we got to say yes, and the reason why we got to say yes because we got to be the tone and the example. I can't say no. Now, if we talking about a whole, I can't. That's a
Mm-hmm.
complex question.
Mm-hmm.
That's a complex answer, put it that way. But when we talk about, when you say, can we change? Yes. Because what you can do different is do something different in your community, just as well as what I can do different is something different in my community. And we can be a voice. So we're doing something different now just by even talking about it and bringing it up for topic.
And look at what happens to a lot of those people.
Mhm.
There was a coach that just got shot.
Yeah.
He was now he wasn't black though, but he coached black kids at a college. It was a JUCO college. And
Hmm.
he had been coaching there for like 40 years. And I think he helped like 30 black men to the NFL. He was a father figure to a lot of brothers. And some black guy just came up, shot him dead.
Hmm.
Look at the black guy just not too long ago. They got that crab restaurant over there close to Buckhead. See
Yeah.
how he helped this community with a
Yeah.
shot to death.
Yeah.
Look at Malcolm X, Martin Luther King.
Yeah.
Although they say the CIA was behind it, but who helped orchestrate the murder? Look at Fred Hampton. Although they came in and shot him, but who set it up? Black man. Even in the slavery. Who sold us? You know what I mean? So even, you know what I mean? Some people now so scared to even try to stand up because you got a target on your back now. Oh, you trying to say you better than me. You remember going to school and you studying, doing homework. Oh, he lame. Oh, you
Yeah.
trying to be white. You know, why
Yeah.
you talk like that? Why I
Yeah.
talk like this? I'm speaking English, right? Oh, you trying to get smart? Wow, so you don't want to fight. It's like it got to be destruction or it's not comfortable to a lot of us in our community. So it's
Yeah.
hard. Sometimes you like, man, is it even
If
worth risking
yeah.
my life for? Because look at Martin Luther King and all them. They risked their life and look what we doing now.
Yeah.
I know King got to be like, hey, man, shoot, I should have just worried about my family, man. Because we worse off,
Yeah.
you know? So, but it's the right thing to do. So
Yeah.
no matter how many of us you shoot down, eventually we gonna prevail, period. So you
Always.
can't get discouraged, you can't get scared, but sometimes it's hard not to, man, because these people die for just doing what's right.
Yeah.
Senseless death, senseless.
Harder to take the good step out there to be the outcast or to stand out there alone. But I think that the more that we have people that's not afraid to speak up, the more people that we have to say like you're not alone. I think that we'll have a better opportunity to find more people that's like minded like that. I think that people just gotta know that they're not out here alone, standing alone. And it's time to speak up because we're losing our youth. Like kids are not even living past 25 anymore. It's just we need more people to speak up. We need more people to say something. We need more people to police their neighborhoods.
Mhm.
Like stop allowing things to just happen and then you want to be on the news and say, well, I've been watching. A damn shame. Say something. Like
You
don't
know what?
allow it down in your neighborhood.
I think the first thing we got to do, and this would help significantly, it would help really build the foundation. Get this mindset. It's only one race, and that's the human race.
Amen.
Get race out of it. Because if not, it's going to forever be, it's always going to be tit for tat. Always going to be, well, you don't tell the white person that. First of all, and I'm not saying this is true, but you hear this a lot. Well, we better than y'all. We look better. You copy. So why, if we are better, why you always comparing yourself
Hello?
to what they do? Well, they kill each other too. Well, let them kill. We ain't supposed to.
Yeah.
I thought we was better. All of us grew up in the church. All of us supposed to have all this religion. All of us supposed to care so much about God. But we the most violent, the most destructive amongst each other.
Hmm.
And then we'll say what the white man did. Man, screw him. Shut up about it. Why you keep talking
Please
about
stop talking about it.
the white man?
Please stop talking about it. Yeah.
Golly, have your own identity and say, well, we gonna be better. You claim to say we the best, we the first on the earth, and we all of this. Well, show it. Act
Show
like
it.
it. Act like it. X out excuses. Stop
Yeah.
making excuses and find a solution, man.
Yeah.
And stick with it. Period. And then life will be what it was created to be. But like you said before, it's money into chaos. It's money into drama. It's money into it. You know what I mean? It feeds gets that dopamine. You hear some fussing in the street and you act like you was going to the mailbox or you
Right.
come in your car and you be like, man, what they do? You be like, oh man, hold on. Or two, you know how it be when your friend calls say, Stacy, girl, let me tell you. And you like, what happened?
Now why you gotta use my name for the
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You got to check yourself. You got to be the example in the world that
you
you
want
wanted to be.
amen. Yeah.
In the beginning, God said, I'm going to create you out of my what? Image and likeness. What's the definition of likeness? It's your character, it's your qualities, and it's your nature. So if we out of God's quality, nature, and character, what are we doing? How
Hmm.
we not living up to that? And we lost our nature when we listened to the serpent, and then now we trying to get it back now. But after you really know your purpose, why you ain't living it? If your child leaves your house right now and say they call their mommy every now and then, but when you go check on them, they represent you 100%. They stand up citizens, they respectful, they well grounded, and they standing firm on their foundation. You can go sit back and chill and relax now. You feel comfortable. So when we go to God and we do all this hollering and praising, okay, all right, I'm pretty sure God got to be like, that's cool. How you living? That
Yeah.
really what shows true love and respect and you understand your purpose now.
Yeah.
Period. We got a church on every corner, but we got the
Yeah.
worst neighborhood, the worst education system, but we swear we know God so much.
Yeah.
I can't see it.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, people gotta they gotta learn how to break their cycles, their bad habits, and not just talk about it and only on Sunday. You gotta actually walk that walk, and be that true example of walking with Christ. It's not a hard task. It's not impossible. It's just having the right willpower and the right mindset of wanting to do it. It's all in the one. Do you
And I
really
want
want?
to just go back to the topic that it's about carrying the pain of our ancestors because we can't heal while carrying pain that isn't even ours. We can't rise while repeating betrayals. To honor our ancestors, we must release trauma and grab the future they believe we could reach. You know,
Yeah,
because none of that stuff that we cry about, oh, my ancestor went through, man, we don't know nothing about it. We just know what somebody told us.
that is very true.
You know what I'm
And
saying?
you know that healing is a practice. It's not a destination. Like you
Hmm.
gotta practice at it. You gotta every day commit to making sure that you don't have that mindset. It's not to say that you're not gonna wake up and you're not gonna think about it, or you may not you know, have an emotion that doesn't make you doubt certain things. It's not saying that. What we're saying is you got to learn how to speak against those things and not allow those things to stay into your life and that become of you. And then we sit and now we're moping and now we're complaining where hey you got to stop it at the head. As soon as you start thinking it, as soon as you start feeling it, you got to stop these thoughts and these feelings because it's
Hmm.
bounding you, it's keeping you bound, and it's a distraction to keep you from moving forward.
I see that we got a hatred for the white people that sometimes I watch them cop shows and when they pull over the black people, they be just instant, just take off. But you supposed to be scared of the police. You claim you scared of white people, but you sure don't show it. But you have this hatred for white people. And for what? Because like I said before, that pain not ours.
Yeah.
Then, but that white man, because it's white men in the military that die and fight in wars so we can have the privilege we have in this country right now.
Hmm.
It's them white jobs that you go to help pay your bills. It's those white people that sign this legislation that give us all these benefits. And first thing they say, benefit white. Yeah, it's more white people, about 60% white. What, we 15%? So then they'll say, well, they show them favoritism. Okay, check this out. You don't think Africans show favoritism over over whites that's over there? Because it's the majority of them. But we should look out for each other then. Don't care what they don't look out for us for. They give us, we in this country now, and we have every opportunity to do exactly what we need to do to make sure our lives is comfortable and successful. Period.
Yeah. Yeah,
Period.
I just can't. I just don't walk by race. I just don't. People are people. We all humans. Our pigment is different, and that's just how I look at it. But I just can't operate and move in the in a place of, oh well, I can't do this because of the color of my skin. That does not make any sense to me. It just doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because if me and you move to Japan, you don't think they're gonna prioritize the Japanese, over the blacks that's over there. Hey,
Right.
because this America is a predominantly white country. Yeah, we was brought here through yeah, but anyway, it's still more of them than anybody.
Yeah.
And we go to Africa, we sure ain't gonna get no love.
Right. That's what I was about to get. I can't wrap my mind about around how many people is supposed to be in the line of blaming because life is so bad. I just can't. It's too many people, so I can't look at life like that. And it's sad to know that people even still look at life like that.
Yeah.
My answer, they did it. And this is the world I live in today. I don't live in that time. I don't live in those days. I don't live where, I'm looking behind my back wondering if some white person is coming to put a cross in front of my yard and snatch
Hmm.
somebody up. I don't live in those times. So for me to look at that and look at those times and use that as a burden, that's that's almost like a insult to my ancestors. They didn't live for me to keep living it. They didn't
Absolutely.
die for me to keep going through the same thing that they went through. No, we overcame that. And to show them that we appreciate they walk, we appreciate what they have done, that means we're going to walk better shoes and we're going to do better and we're going to live better and we're going to speak better and we're going to love each other better. That's, I think that's what the main focus need to be, is loving your neighbors. If you can't love your people or love the people that stay next door to you, then I don't even want to know how you love the people in your household. I know they ain't getting no love. And I think that's where people are lost at, is that instead of um thinking about what happened in the past or what damaged us or where we went wrong. No, we going wrong right now today by allowing our communities to continue to live the way they living and nobody's saying nothing. I'm sorry, but if I step out my door and I see your tail crawling in that window, you better hope that you live there because I'm calling the police.
Absolutely.
I'm telling you.
Absolutely. And to go back on what you said about a burning cross in your yard, you got a greater chance of a stray bullet coming through your window than you got a burning cross in your yard today.
Absolutely. And so when you know about, Pookie and them down the block who got all the guns in their house and they about to run up on somebody, I think if you know the story, it was sent to you to say something. You're held accountable for it. And it should eat at your conscience if anybody died in the midst of that.
Uh,
If you could have did anything before. Why? Because no matter what information comes to you, it's always a reason that it came to you.
Absolutely.
So if you don't do your part in what goes down, you ought to be ashamed of yourself.
We all know the drug dealers, killers, robbers. If we really wanted to clean our neighborhood, we could.
We could.
That would make me think, I think a lot of us like the drama. They like the chaos. I had an associate back in the day. We hung a little bit in the hood. He said, and this is his word verbatim. He said, I love this. I said, what? It was the guy who I worked with, and he was on the phone, and he said, hey, JB, I said, what's up, man? He said, man, listen to this. And he put it on speaker. And you won't believe what she said, Stacey. You ain't gonna believe this. She said, you irritate me. He said, why? He pointed at the phone. He said, listen, let's watch this. She said, because you don't get on my nerves. He said, what? So me, I put my fork down and set up. I said, what'd she say? Because there is no drama and he doesn't do anything to cause any problems in relationship, she don't like it.
Yeah.
She wanted drama. She wanted chaos. And since
Yeah.
he was a real mellow dude, and he was very humble, and she didn't like that. She didn't like it. I don't know where this no snitch culture came from. Like, oh, I ain't no snitch, I ain't telling. But me, so you gonna allow this to continue to happen? But guess what I said that should happen? When we call the police, no police should even show up. When you kill each other in the street, let them stay out there.
Yeah.
Since you ain't gonna snitch, hey, no, so don't call us no more.
I tell people that I meet and the people that don't know me, don't ever commit no crime around me because I'm telling. I'm sorry. I'm terrible at lying. I stutter over my words, so they gonna know I'm lying. That's one.
Mm-hmm.
Two, my hands gonna get clammy and start sweating, and now I'm nervous, and now I'm just gonna start telling them stuff that I shouldn't even tell them. I'm gonna tell them about stuff that they don't even need to know about. I'm telling, and I know I'm telling. So don't ever commit no crime around me because I'm telling. I just don't. At the end of the day, I'm sorry, but I love my neighborhood. I love my people. I love the people that I live around, and I won't allow anyone to come in and disrupt my peace. And my neighborhood is my peace, and I can't do nothing to change the world, but I
Mm-hmm.
can change the community that I'm given.